Hello everyone, welcome back to Logic Bombs. Let the logic bombing continue. I don't imagine that I will do a series where I get every single level. That sounds crazy. I'll lose interest before that, or not exactly lose interest. The game will get hard enough that I'll get frustrated and stop, or feel that it's not good content. But I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't even published any of these videos yet at the time of this recording. I don't know how good the analytics are. I don't really pay too much attention to that because I don't make noticeable amounts of money from any of this. Just do it for fun and to share what I mean. You could you could call art if you had a self-inflated opinion. I guess I don't know quite what I'm saying, but I don't know. I mean, it is art. It's not great art, but it's like, just, it's cultural artifacts that aren't technology. What can you call those but art, right? Sharing videos. Anyway. So that all was easy to reach. I guess we know that these are all in different groups. Each one of them must touch a gem somehow, right? And they can't touch each other. It's not that helpful. I don't know how they touch yet. Maybe I do. Because, yeah, this row is important, right? Where are the walls in this row? Could one of them be here? No. Because then, in order to stop this from connecting with this group, you'd need a wall in one of these two, and you'd need a wall in one of these two, but you don't have that. Yeah, so in fact, this is helpful. We can say that these are all open, because there needs to be a wall in one of these two and a wall in one of these two. Okay. That's cool. And then here, there's nothing so useful, I don't think. But in this, you have a similar conclusion. This can't be allowed to touch this. And that means we need a wall in one of these 5 squares. Because if they were all open, they'd connect. So these can't be the walls. And now this column is done. And so is this one. This has to get out. Six walls here means only 2 more non-walls. So this gem can't get here. It must get here. Which means this gem has to get here. So now we know where all of the gems are connected to. You're connected to here. I don't yet know how, but I know this goes here. Okay. Because before it would have been possible for something like this to happen, where this goes here. But now we know that doesn't happen. What is constrained here? Well, we have to stop this from getting here, I guess. That's not too hard. In fact, it's impossible to allow it. Okay. Can we refine this area any more than I did? I don't think so, because in principle, if there were walls like here and here, this would all be disconnected, right? So I can't say that, like, oh, this has to be open. Well, since this doesn't get to here, I can now say this can't be the wall in this column. That's something. Is this too constrained somehow? I know there needs to be at least one wall in these three so that we don't touch this. But, well, I guess that leaves at most one wall here. Is that important? I don't think so. At most one wall in this whole area? Maybe that is interesting. Or no, this area. Because this wall could be here, for example. So if there's at most one wall here, that means 4 of these are open. And if this touches any of those 4, it would get in here, which is not allowed. So most of this has to be walls. It doesn't all have to be walls, but only one non-wall can exist in this whole area. So this is therefore at most one wall here. But we know there's at least one wall because of this. It can't be that. Okay, interesting. So, okay, well that, if there's at least one wall here and also at most one wall here, then there's exactly one wall here, and therefore 4 walls here. Which must... Well... Right, this connects up here. Okay, so... Yeah. There are 4 open spaces here and 4 walls here, and they must match exactly. Because if we had 2 opens next to each other, we'd have a problem. This is all very interesting, but it doesn't let me mark very much, I don't think. I think I must be missing something simpler. Of course I am. This can't be a wall, because then these would connect. I actually need specifically this to be a wall to stop these two not only from reaching each other, but stop both of them from reaching the middle. Okay, that's probably pretty helpful. We decided this gem is going here, so this is not allowed. And I believe we proved that's the only wall in this area, because there needs to be one here. Yeah, this wall is the key thing I was missing. I guess there could be more key things I was missing, but that certainly was one of them. There's the 4 walls I prophesied. This column's done. This has to get out. Column's done. Row's done. column done. Row done. Row done. Column done. Row is done. There we go. Well, I got to do some interesting logic there. None of it ended up mattering. Oh, no hints about the rows at all, huh? Huh. Well, this says 3, so clearly it has to be these, and likewise here. So I guess the interesting part is going to be figuring out which mines go to which monsters. Ah, yeah, and these 2s are what's telling me. Because I need at least one wall in this area, and at least one wall in this area to stop this one from hitting a second monster, which means there's no room for any outside of that area. And the same thing applies here. This monster needs protection on 2 sides, so we can do that. Now we know this guy's coming from here, and I imagine I'll be able to do something similar for these guys. But maybe not. Yeah, I can now. Look, the one wall in this column has to go in this area, and likewise here. So it can't be outside, and now we get this lined up. And the wall has to stop this monster and mine from interacting. This mine can't be allowed to get 2 things. Finishing the column. But not this column. These mines can't blow each other up. I need 2 walls in this column. And in this column. I guess I'm gonna need to figure out what to do, like... These column hints are not going to be enough. I need to look at horizontally exploding mines, right? I need a mine in one of these 2 squares. Oh no, it's easier. I just need a mine here to stop this, and here. That gives me the column. And then I need this, and I'm done. Seven? Well, there's only 8 available, so it has to get at least 3 from each side. And then these 2s... Okay, well, you have to get that one and that one. No one else can reach. So this 2 and this 7 are in the same group, but this 2 has to be in a different group because it's touching a different gem. It's interesting. Oh, I didn't even notice there's a 7 down here. Jeez. Okay. . So now it's about stopping these groups from touching, I think. This one wall has to go in here somewhere to stop these two groups from touching, so it can't go over here. Likewise, this wall can't go here. This one I think could go here in principle. No, it couldn't, because that would do all of the... Okay, that's not possible. Okay, great. Not sure how these mines are assigned to monsters yet. This one wall can't go here. And this one can't... It could go here, actually, couldn't it? No. That's interesting. Well, I guess it could if we did this. No, because then these two would be fully open and they'd be reaching this too. Yeah, so we can't. Okay. Ah, this is maybe useful. The one wall here has to be one of these two. So it can't be any of these. And I bet we can do something similar here, which will be really important. Because it'll tell me where this mine goes. So it has to be one of these three is the wall, right? Otherwise these two groups would connect up. So it can't be one of these. And now we can say this two can't get here, or it would be hitting three monsters. It has to go this way. So you have to go that way. Could this be the wall? I guess so. For now, it seems that way. Oh, of course, we now know these two groups. How long have I known this? For a long time. These two groups can't touch. So you must go there. Now we can do these. And I believe I can do this as well, because each of this domino needs one wall and this domino needs a wall, and that's all these two rows have to contribute. So none of these can be walls. Which means I have to do this. And this. Oh, it needs to be specifically this wall to stop these from touching. All right, I could have done that in a different way. Zero? I ain't ever seen this before. A bomb that don't get nothing. Well, that's interesting. At least the monsters are easy to dispose of. So if there's two walls, they have to stop these mines from hitting any monsters. So that can't be one, for example, and neither can this. Likewise, this can't. And this can't. Likewise here. And here. That's done the column of 8s and the row of 8s. This row looks finished. And this column, which does this row. And this one by symmetry. Now I can do these columns of 2s. And these columns of 6s. Very symmetrical. I don't remember if this was already there or if I just misclicked it. I'll leave it. It was, okay. For the 5 row, got it. Poor little zero bombs. Where to start? Where's the break-in? There's only one wall in this whole column, and it has to stop this too from getting all the monsters, so it can't be up here. And in fact, no. I was going to say it has to stop the 2 from getting only one monster, therefore the 2 has to go here. But that's not true. We could put it here, and then the 2 would need this. Or here, and then the 2 wouldn't need it. So, can't say for sure. We can say this 2 has to reach this far. Can only get 1 from this direction. Only 1 here, huh? So the 2 has to get at least 1 of these 2. But it might get both, or it might get 1 of them in this. I guess only 2 walls here is quite constraining, isn't it? Or the fact that there are 2 walls when there's only 4 places to put them. So this 5... can't get all 5 monsters from the bottom row. It can only get at most 3 if we did this. Or equivalently this. So it needs at least these 2. Yeah, that's pretty exciting stuff. Now the 5, well, it's still the same, I guess. It can get at most 1 here, but it can still get 3 here and 2 here, so I can't push it any higher. But now I can say it has to go to the right, because it can only get 1 plus 3, yeah, so it's got to go get at least those 2. So at least 1 wall here, but it could be both or just 1. This monster, I think it still could be getting from the 2 or the 5. Ah, this 1 has to go over here. So this 2 can't go there, has to go down, which means the 5 can't go that way. So where are you coming from? The 5 or the 2? So I see these two monsters go to the 2 or the 5. Well, one to each, to the 2 and the 5, but I don't know which one yet. Oh, I do know which one. Because there's 3 walls in this row, and I can only put 2 of them over here. At least one has to go between these two. So you got to come all the way down here. Okay, that's the monsters assigned. But, of course, the monsters still matter, because I have to make sure that I don't connect a mine to an extra monster. Where am I at risk of doing that? Here, here, and here. So there has to be at least one wall between these two, and at least one wall here, but that's not too constraining, I don't think. This 7 seems kind of noteworthy. Oh no, this column's been done for a while. Okay. That should help. Somehow? It does. It gives me this row. It gives me this column. It gives me this row. Now I know this is open, right? Because there still needs to be a wall here somewhere. And this has to escape. I guess no. There's only 3 walls, so the fact that I can't do this is not interesting because I don't even have enough walls to do that. Okay, so it will escape to one side or the other. I can't mess that up. This middle column, I was going to say it has to connect to both sides, but actually it's already connected to the left through here. It has to connect to the right, but that doesn't look very hard. In fact, it's impossible to prevent. Because it has to get to this either from the bottom or the top, with only one wall to go in the column. I feel like I should be at the easy part where this puzzle is over. And I'm just missing something simple. Yes, here it is. Didn't highlight the row for me because it doesn't highlight when you've done all the non-walls, as I constantly complain about. Column's done. Yeah. Okay, easy to do zeros. I love zeros. A lot of different gems today. This column looks sort of... Oh, this one too. There's only one non-wall left. And I can't allow this to get all the way to here, or it would touch this second gem. So the wall has to be in one of these areas. It can't be here. Or wait, no. Backwards. The non-wall... Okay, yeah, that's crazy. This is not interesting. There's only one non-wall left. Which is not very constraining. Oh. This one has to get this monster. So you have to go there, and there's a wall here. I need a wall in this area, but that isn't very interesting. This has to connect up with something without getting struck by this bomb. There's a number of ways to do that, though. Could go like this. Could go like this. Well, you gotta go... This two's gotta go like that now. No, I can't say this yet, can I? Okay, I can, because the column happens to say 3, but I thought it was because of connectivity. Oh, it was right, because I can't blow up the gem. That's what I was thinking. But since this is a 3, I can just do the whole column. The last wall in this column has to stop this gem connecting to this gem, so it's got to be one of these two, so it's not any of these. I don't know if this is a wall or not, because I don't know what gem group this is part of. It might touch this gem, or it might not. Gotta be a wall there. No, wait, that's a monster, not a mine. This could connect up. That would be fine. Oh, this is the last unsatisfied bomb. It's got to get those two. Can't go there. Oh, this gem can't touch this gem, and by a roundabout path, it actually would if this weren't a wall. This could be allowed. Ah, in fact, no, wrong. I was about to say this group must connect with this group because there's 8 open spaces here, but no, there are 8 walls there. Big difference. Oh, there's only... We can do something similar in this column as we did here, right? There's only one wall left, and it can't be here. Because then these would connect, so that's not a wall. Ah, and now I know what gem this monster belongs to. I can't let it touch that gem. I see. But I still don't know what group this is part of. Do I? I don't think so. It could touch here, and that seems easiest, but it could be... Oh, that has to be true. No. Yes. Because suppose it didn't. Suppose we did this. This gem has to touch a monster somewhere. Okay, let's say it gets this one. But now this gem can't reach anything, so that's impossible. So this gem is... These monsters are part of this group, not this one. So I can do this. So if this is touching these guys, you can't be touching them. Also this. And this can't be allowed to go down. So there must be a wall here, and that's the last wall for the column. This isn't one. So we can't have this connection. This is done. Can't connect up. Done the column. There's one more non-wall in this column, which is already enough to forbid a connection, so I can't make any real deductions from that, I think. I need a wall here in one of these two, so this can't be the last wall of the column. That finishes the row, which finishes this column. The wall in this column has to be one of these two, so it's not here or here. Ah, this 8 is done. Well, that sounded abbreviated, like it cut off in the middle for some reason. 2's got to go here. This 2's got to get these two. This 2 has to get these two. So you've got to go there and you've got to go there. Okay. Simple enough start. Wow, 4 gems for this? That seems constraining. So the one wall in this row has to be one of these 3 to stop this connection, so it's not any of these. These can't connect up, can they? I have 4 gems and currently 4 distinct groups of monsters to assign gems to. If I merge any 2 groups of monsters, I will have too many gems. So I can't allow any group of monsters to touch, even if I don't know what gem group they're part of. So, for example, the wall in this area, or the wall in this column, excuse me, has to stop me from getting to this gem. So it can't be this square or this square. Oh, is that true? That might not be true. It can't be here. No, sorry, it could be here. It can't be here because then I'd have a straight shot down to this, which would definitely be a problem. Oh, I can't let it... In fact, okay, so this is clear, but it can't be here because then I would be touching these 2 gems. I don't know which gem it's right to touch, but certainly it's wrong to touch both of them. This couldn't be a wall because then I'd touch both monster groups. But I think anything else here could be at the moment. The wall in this row has to be one of these 2, in fact, doesn't it? Otherwise they'd connect up, yes. So we can do that. Now the wall here has to be one of these two, so it's not there. The last wall in this column has to stop this mine from getting too many monsters, so it can't be here, which means we get this. The last wall in this column has to stop this bomb from getting to here, from these groups from connecting up, so it can't be this. I need a wall stopping these two, which has to be one of these two at least, and also stopping this. So it can't be here or here. The last wall in this row has to be... No, these could be allowed to connect. In fact, probably will. Because this doesn't have a gem yet. These two can't touch. These groups can't touch. Well, now I know this gem is assigned to this group. That's information I guessed but didn't have for sure before. Oh, this column's done. There we go. Is the column done? The last wall in this row has to be one of these two. So it's not over here. And that gets this done finally. Last wall in this, or the only wall in this row, has to be one of these two. And in this row, it has to be one of these three. So that finally does this column, believe it or not. This column is done as well. Now we can say that has to be the wall. Of course, it looked like it was going to be diagonal, but you still have to prove it. No! Oh. There we go. I got those backwards. Ta-da! Okay. Well, the monsters are all assigned. That's nice. There's only one wall here. It has to be in this area. This wall has to go in this section. Let's think about connectivity for these guys, actually. They can't get out this way, because I know one of these two is a wall, so they have to get out this way. Which does this column. And you guys now have to get out, and you can't go this way, so it's got to be through here. These, well, the column's done, but also these, well, this anyway couldn't be allowed to be an isolated group. Oh, you have to get out as well, don't you? Because you can't go this way. So each group, this group and this group, both have to get to this line somehow. But I'm not sure that does much. Ah, row 3, the row I'm currently hovering, has 2 non-walls already. Which does this column. And you still have to get out somehow. It's got to be like this. Oops. This. You have to get out. It's got to go that way, and that does the row. This row's done. We've penned in the gem. It has to get over here. But that doesn't seem hard. I guess since this row needs 3 walls, it's got to go this way. This column is done. The row is done. That should do all the columns, right? There we go. Maybe I can actually end an episode at the end of a row. Wouldn't that be nice? But there's like no mines. It's all row clues. Nines? So there must be... Yeah. There must be a straight line connection from this column to this column somehow. Right? Because there's no way you could do a turn in an area like this. Like if you wanted something like that, those two can't connect because everything else has to be walls. So what that means is it has to be straight line. We have to do that. And it's got to go through one of these. So where's the asymmetry here? Ah, it's the... Okay, I see. We also have to connect to these open sections. Right, this has to connect to here somehow. So... Yeah, this is cute. Whichever row is a path on the left has to be a wall on the right to get the 4 walls. And if that were the top or bottom of the 3 rows, we'd have a cut-off section like this. That can't be allowed. So we have to come in this way. This puzzle could have been a little bit less wide, but okay, sure. Maybe thinking through the ramifications of how a column of several contiguous columns of 9s work is important. But I think just 2 of them, you could have had the same idea. Well, the wall has to be in between these somehow. Likewise here. But the details of which monsters those mines get are not yet revealed to me. Oh, wait, they are, though. Where is the wall in this row? Could it be here? Sure, the one could go this way, but then this one would have to pick up both of these. That's impossible. So in fact, we can say these ones, and similarly down here, have to get those monsters specifically. Now, these guys have to be picked off by the 2s, because, of course... Oh, and so these guys. Okay. Because the 1s can't get them anymore. Okay. I need a wall in this area and a wall in this area, so there can't be any here symmetrically on this side. Six walls in here is a lot. Oh, well... I know there has to be a wall here and a wall here, but that doesn't actually help. Because there's no other space. I can say, oh yeah, all the walls in this column are accounted for somewhere within the spaces of this column, but that's not helpful. Only if you can account for them within a subset of the column can you do something with that information. Ah, these 6s are done. I miscounted and I thought there were only 3 non-walls somehow. Which does these 2 rows. Gotta stop this explosion from going too far. I need 4 walls in this column. It's all very connected up already, isn't it? Oh, I should be able... Yeah, there we go. This row is done too. So now everything's all connected up already. This 4 is done. Now I know I need walls here to stop the mines from going too far. Which finishes the row and the outer columns. All right. right, end of a row. We might learn some new rules on the next row. They sometimes do that. Oh, there's a 1. I thought they were all zeros, but with a monster, you gotta have a 1 somewhere. I guess the challenge in this puzzle is how do you get all of these bombs to connect up with each other in a single group when they can't be allowed to blow each other up? Like, this is illegal. This is illegal. We gotta get over there somehow, but it's gotta be like this every time. Something like that, right? That seems like the right thing to think about. And an 8? Okay. There's only 2 ways to connect into this, to bridge this gap. And I bet we're going to need them both. It couldn't be here, could it? Well, that can't be where we bridge the gap, because it would run into this. But this could still be possible if we only used, let's say, one of the spots to bridge this gap. Like here, for example. Let's say we somehow got all of these connected up to this square. Then they could all escape through here, and this could be allowed as an idle empty space. But if we want to use both empty spaces as actual bridges, this can't be one. And neither can this, or this, or this. So I guess one thing we can say is that of these 6 squares, at least one of them is non-wall. But that's not a very strong conclusion. Three, huh? That's actually quite a conspicuous number. Because it means you can't ever do this. You can't have like one of these bombs connect up to another one. Except you can, of course, because you can do it like this. Well... Oh, you can't. I was thinking you could kind of step over into this column for a moment where you're allowed extra spaces. I guess you just barely... No, you can't. Because you can't ever step directly over from here. You did another bomb. You'd have to step down. And then to get back here, you'd also have to step down or up before you could go across. So... You can't on this side of the wall, at least. And I think on this side, I'll also... Oh, this doesn't have anything to do with the 3. It's just true of the shape. You can't ever... I think... Oh, yeah, you can. What am I saying? You could do this. Well, no, because how do these connect up? They've got to go through the middle. Okay, so it could look something like this. This is a complicated way that you could get a connection from here to here. I guess you don't even need this square, right? Okay. I thought this wouldn't be possible. And I guess it's not because there's 5 walls here? I think the 5 walls here must be the important thing to start on. Because all of these have to get out to the west somehow. And only one of them can do so by a way other than going directly left. Right? If 2 of them tried it, there wouldn't be space for enough walls here. So 3 of them, at least, perhaps more than 3, have to have a thing directly to the west of them open. Aha! And that means 3 of these squares have to be walls. I don't know which 3, but 3 of them. And that's all of them in the whole column. So I can say this is true. That's interesting. I can't make similar conclusions about the other columns of mines, like over here, because this is the only one where I was told there's walls like this. Also, I have 5 walls here and I don't over here. And if 3 of these are walls, that means this entire space gets squeezed into a tiny little bottleneck going through one of these bombs to the other side. Right? It also means... I love this puzzle so far. It also means these mines all have to get out to the left. They can never come over here and connect to another mine and come out that way, which is where I started this whole discussion. I said it seemed like that was impossible, which is true, but for totally different reasons than I was thinking. And now I can put walls here. None of these can be allowed to continue to crash into another bomb. That seems impossible. Have I made an error? No. Well, not the one I thought I might have anyway. Because look, how are all these zeros going to get out? Could they, like, if this one goes up, this one can't go down, it has to go up. This one can't go down, it has to go up. And like, this one can't go down. But it could escape to the left, and so could this one. So either of these, at least one of these escapes left. Oh, by the way, this column's done and has been ever since a long time ago. Don't tell me there's an easy way into this puzzle instead of what I was doing over here, which was so cool. Okay, yeah, as soon as I connected this up and put a wall here and here, I could have done this. Which gives me this and this. And this and this and this and this. Okay, but I think that's sort of done with what can happen over here, isn't it? I think I need to turn my attention to this, the right half of the grid somewhat now. And also these 6s look important. Because each of these 0 bombs has to get to the left, but it can't go straight. So it has to turn into an adjacent row very soon. And it can't really turn here to here, I don't think. Well, it certainly can't do that, because then the 6 would be unsatisfied. But, like, maybe it could do this? It seems too constraining, but I'm not sure. Oh, right. Remember, 3 of these are blocked off. So I need this column to connect up everything, don't I? Like, I need this. Because this is the only column that can connect this bomb to this bomb, and they have to be connected. Yes, that's true. That seems very powerful, because now I get this row, both of these rows. And also, I get these stopped up, which lets me come down here. These have to escape. Also, I have to finish the column, I guess. Where's the asymmetry? I think it's these... Because, right, the whole puzzle that I'm working with at the moment is... You can mirror it vertically, and, like, at least the part I'm thinking about now would be completely the same, right? But there has to be something that breaks the tie of whether we come out here or here. And the answer is these row clues and these row clues are different. So, well, these are already, I guess they're not quite taken care of. They could influence whether we get out the, oh, hang on. This has to get down, this has to get up. These have to be cut off. At least one of these has to get out, but not necessarily both. Yes, both. I think. Because... Suppose this one got out and I said, don't worry, I'll block this off and rely on the connectivity of looping this around. That would be a false conclusion because I've already proven this bomb and this bomb don't connect. One of them is walled off. So this group and this group both need to touch the left, which they can only do in this way, and that finishes the 8. This row has to go there. And here. But not here. Which means I need this to finish the column. We got to go here. This can't happen. So this has to. And now this can't. Oh, I loved that puzzle. My favorite so far of all the, what is this, 5, 15, 45 I've done so far? No, these are not 15 wide, they're 16 wide, of course. It's a very small computer. This is Game Boy, remember? We're playing on the Game Boy. Yes, so they're 16 wide, cute. Okay, so of the 48 I've done, number 48 was my favorite. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.